Okay, so in this question, we're going to be looking at the slope of the LM curve. Let's first see where differently sloped LM curves come from. Well, on the top here, I've drawn a money market where money demand is responsive to the interest rate. In other words, it's kind of flat, or flatter than this one. Anyway, where I've drawn money demand is only really being responsive to income. Right? So each money demand curve is based on a y down here as well. You see this one is flatter. In other words, if you change the interest rate, you get more of a response than you do in this case, right? So the extreme case is where money demand only depends on y, right? So let's see what kind of LM curves they would give us. So here we're going to move these money markets over into LM space or y space. So the first one here we have an MD, say call this y1. So we have y1, which gives us an OR of this, right? So our first point in this LM curve is going to be there. And we have a y2, say here, which gives us an OR up here. So say there. And that gives us an LM curve that looks something like that. Okay, so fairly averagely sloped one. What about down here? If I do this correctly, pick a y1 here, and y2 there. Well, if we translate our OR1 over to here, we get a point like this, and our OR2, we get a point like this, which, well, they look the same because I didn't use a ruler, but this one, the outcome should be that if you draw these things properly to scale, you should get a much steeper LM curve here, right? So, and again, apologies, I don't have a big whiteboard ruler, but if you do this properly yourselves, setting up steep MD curves over here gives you a steep LM curve over here, and shallow ones give you a shallow one here. Okay, so what does this mean? Well, taken to the extreme case where this is perfectly flat, you're going to get an LM curve that's vertical. Right? So if you draw money demand curves that are only responsive to y, in other words, they don't change at all with OR, they only shift around with y, and trace them out properly, you should get a perfectly upward vertical LM curve. Okay, so that's the first part of the question. When money demand depends only on real income, in other words, as these things become steeper and steeper, the resulting LM curve is vertical, and fiscal policy will have what kind of effect on income? Okay, so fiscal policy is shifting of your LM, shifting of your IS. So if we start from a situation like this and have some fiscal policy, so let's just say the government cuts taxes, IS will shift out this way. IS shifts out this way, and it has zero effect on income, right? You end up with a higher interest rate, fair enough, but you have absolutely no effect on y, right? This is a vertical line. You shift from this IS curve to this IS curve, and you end up here, without any move in the LM curve, obviously. If you start doing simultaneous monetary policy, things will be different. But if you just change IS with a vertical LM curve, if you just increase IS with a vertical LM curve, you get no change in income. Of course, if you did the opposite way around and cut government spending, say, you end up with the same situation. If the LM curve is vertical, you have no, or fiscal policy will have no impact.